Caitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. We're going to continue reading from Srimad Bhagavatam Canto 3 Chapter 23 Text 8. So Anye Punar Bhagavato Bhruva Udvijrambha Vibram Shitartha Rachanaha Kim Urukramasya Siddhasi Bhungshva Vibhavan Nija Dharma Dohan Divya Narer Dura Digan Ripa Vikriya Bhihi. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Kardama Muni continued. What is the use of enjoyments other than the Lord's grace? All material achievements are subject to be annihilated simply by a movement of the eyebrows of Lord Vishnu, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. By your principles of devotion to your husband, you have achieved and can enjoy the transcendental gifts very rarely obtained by persons proud of aristocracy and material possessions. So Devahuti, she was a princess, daughter of the emperor. So she had a lot of riches. I mean, can you imagine the facilities she would be having? The princess, palaces, maidservants, ornaments, all the, so much opulence, chariots. And so she could have easily been very proud of her position. We get something, we say, oh, I'm so better than all these people. I enjoy. But she didn't get this pride. She in fact devoted herself to Kardama Muni. And because of that, she pleased him, and that's how she also pleased the Supreme Lord. She got the Lord's grace. Yeah, and it's said that, see, these material possessions that we are so proud of actually can be taken away from us, just a simple movement of eyebrows of Lord Vishnu. Just simply when the time is no more for us to have these things, it can be taken over overnight. But we get very attached and we get proud of these things. So then Lord Chaitanya recommended that the greatest achievement of human life is to achieve the grace of the Lord, love of God. He said, Prema Pumartho Mahan. To achieve love of Godhead is the highest perfection of life. So we might make a lot of perfections for ourselves. I have this goal, I have that goal. Sure, we need to make goals to be able to live in this world, progress in our material life, maintain the body, whatever. But the highest goal is Prema Pumartha Mahan, achieve, to revive our love of God. Just have to revive it. The same perfection is recommended by Kardama Muni to his wife. So as we make so many different goals, we should also make this goal. And this is the highest. His wife belonged to a very aristocratic royal family. Generally, those who are very materialistic or possess material wealth and prosperity are unable to appreciate the value of transcendental love of God, because we are not able to understand. And we are like, oh, I'm enjoying so much. What do you mean you can give me something better than this? I'm already enjoying so much. Why? I don't think there is anything better. Why should I give up this? I don't even know what you're talking about, if it's real or no. But it is real. It is there in everyone's heart. Although Devahuti was a princess coming from a very great royal family, fortunately, she was under the supervision of her great husband, Kardama Muni, who offered her the best gift which can be bestowed in human life, the grace of the Lord, or love of God. This grace of the Lord was achieved by Devahuti by the goodwill and satisfaction of her husband. She served her husband, who was a great devotee and saintly person, with great sincerity, love, affection, and service, and Kardama Muni was satisfied. He willingly gave love of God, and he recommended that she accept it and enjoy it because he had already achieved it. So he has it, he's pleased with her, he's giving it to her. He's giving it to the love of God. Love of God is not an ordinary commodity. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was worshipped by Rupa Goswami because he distributed love of God, Krishna Prema, to everyone. Rupa Goswami praised him as Mahavadanyaya, a greatly munificent personality. Why? Because he was freely distributing to everyone love of Godhead, which is achieved by wise men only after many, many births. So Rupa Goswami in his prayer, Namo Maya Vadanyaya, Namo Mahavadanyaya, Krishna Prema Pradayati, Krishnaya, Krishna Chaitanya, Namne Goratvishe Namaha. That is how he's addressing Lord Chaitanya. Rupa Goswami is one of the 6 Goswamis of Vrindavan. He's the leader of the Goswamis. And he's calling Lord Chaitanya as Mahavadanyaya, most munificent, most compassionate incarnation of Lord. Well, he's the Lord himself. So it's not, we can call him incarnation, but it is Krishna himself, So the people use both the ways to address him. But nowhere else, never did he give his love like that, so freely, so openly to everyone without considering you're qualified, not qualified. Before, it's only the mantras could be chanted only by brahmanas coming from those aristocratic families, who were transcendentalists. They're coming from that background. Only they were able to chant the mantras and engage in self-realization, but not everyone. But then Lord Chaitanya said, in Kali Yuga, no one is qualified. Now, how are people going to go back home? No one is qualified. Bhagavatam says everyone is born a Shudra. So what did he do? He's freely, openly giving. Take this Krishna Prema. Krishna Prema, Krishna consciousness is the highest gift which can be bestowed on anyone whom we presume to love. So Krishna loves us so much. He loves us so much, and that's why he's giving this love to us. Right now, this original love for Krishna that we have in our heart is transferred to lust. It's transferred to lust because this material world is a perverted reflection of the spiritual world. So we have this original love for Krishna in our heart. But in this material atmosphere, it's transferred to lust. Now, how can we again revive this love? Just by chanting the Hare Krishna mantra. Chant the Hare Krishna mantra. Hear from Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita. One word used in this verse, Nija Dharma Dohan, is very significant. Devahuti, as the wife of Kardama Muni, achieved an invaluable gift from her husband because she was very faithful to him. For a woman, the first principle of religion is to be faithful to her husband. If fortunately the husband is a great personality, then the combination is perfect and the lives of both the wife and the husband are at once fulfilled. So in Vedic times, this was it. The Stri Dharma, as they call, right? In Vedic times, it was very prevalent. Then it got downgraded. People started taking advantage of it as all the other principles are taken advantage of in this age of Kali. So he is a great personality and she's devoted to him. And so she's getting love of God just by serving him. Like Narad Muni achieved by serving the pure devotees. So if we can find out the pure devotee who have love for God and serve them with faith and...
You were saying what? The 3 dharma. You mean that dharma?
Right? Before, the women used to follow.
Okay.
But in this Kali Yuga, you see, everything is downgraded, right? All Vedic principles are downgraded. And so that's the reason Lord Chaitanya said, whoever you are, whatever you do, you just chant Hare Krishna. You just chant Hare Krishna. Because many times the husbands are not able to take care of the women properly. We can see that practically happening. Then what to do in that situation where the husband is really abusive and the wife is at danger of her life? Then she has to leave him and go, right? What to do in those cases? So in Kali Yuga, it's like we are in a very degraded age, a very degraded age. That's the reason the simplest process is just chant Hare Krishna. Evam Bruvanam Abalakhila Yogamaya Vidya Vichakshanam Avekshya Gatadir Aset Samprashraya Pranaya Vivalaya Giresad Pridavaloka Vilasad Dasita Nanaha. Upon hearing the speaking of her husband, who was excelled in knowledge of all kinds of transcendental science, innocent Devahuti was very satisfied. A smiling face shining with a slightly bashful glance. She spoke in a choked voice because of great humility and love. So her husband was very qualified. And so, she was very devoted to him because he's such a nice, loving person. He was qualified to receive her love. And she had given her heart to him. So she's speaking to him, excelled in all kinds of transcendental science. It is said that if one is already engaged in Krishna consciousness and is rendering transcendental loving service to the Lord, then it can be supposed that he has finished all the recommended courses of austerity, penance, religion, sacrifice, mystic yoga, and meditation. So one who is already situated in Krishna consciousness, one who is engaged in his transcendental loving service to the Lord, means he's already done all the yoga, the dan, tapa, whatever is there, all the religious principles, mystic perfection, everything he's done, and he's come to this position. He does not need to separately do anything. Everything is included in Bhakti Yoga, because when we see the yoga ladder, as Krishna explains in Bhagavad Gita, he speaks the yoga ladder, over the chapters. So Karma Kand then brings us to Gyan Kand, then brings us to the Ashtanga Yoga. So Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga brings to Ashtanga Yoga, then highest is Bhakti Yoga. So all the benefits that we receive doing Karma Yoga or Jnana Yoga or Ashtanga Yoga, all those benefits and even much more are included when we do Bhakti Yoga. So all those benefits are there. We don't need to separately do. Devahuti's husband. Why everything is there in Bhakti Yoga? Why? Because Krishna says that all sacrifices, he is the beneficiary. He says that all sacrifices are meant for his pleasure. In Bhagavad Gita, he says, all the knowledge, he said, Vedescha sarver aham eva vedyo, Vedanta krit vedavid eva chaham, that by all the Vedas, I am to be known. I am the compiler of the Vedas. I am the knower of the Vedas. So so we can see that by yoga or by Gyan or by Karma Kand or any rituals that we do, what is the goal is to please the Supreme Lord. So the easiest way to please the Supreme Lord and the best way to please the Supreme Lord is Bhakti Yoga. Bhakti Yoga, devotional service, which begins by hearing and chanting. So it's so easy, we just have to hear about him. We have to chant his names, and we are doing all this. No need to perform these big yagyas, sit in meditation for thousands of years. So Devahuti's husband was so expert in the transcendental science that there was nothing for him to argue about. And when she heard him speak, she was confident that since he was very much advanced in devotional service, he had already surpassed all transcendental educational activities. She had no doubt about the gifts offered by her husband. She knew that he was expert in offering such gifts. And when she understood that he was offering the greatest gift, she was very satisfied. She was overwhelmed with ecstatic love, and therefore she could not reply. Then, with faltering language, just like an attractive wife, she spoke the following words. So she understands, I'm getting the greatest thing, love of God. Somebody is telling you, oh yeah, take, I'm giving you love for Krishna, take it. That's what Lord Caitanya is telling us, but we are like, no, please, I'll take it later. Not yet, later. You just have to grab it, take it, accept it. Text 10, Devahoti Rovacha Radham Batat Vichavar Shated Amoga Yoga Maya Dipetvai Vibhotad Avemi Bhartaha Yaste Bhyadhai Samya Sakrid Anga Sango Bhuyad Gariyasi Guna Prasavaha Satinam. Shri Devahoti said, my dear husband, O best of Brahmanas, I know that you have achieved perfection and are the master of all the infallible mystic powers because you are under the protection of Yoga Maya, the transcendental nature. But you once made a promise that a bodily union should now fulfill, since children are a great quality for a chaste woman who has a glorious husband. So of course, she needs a child, Women get married. Why? They want children. So she's like, oh, okay, yes, but I also need a child now. And it was already said, he had said he's going to give her a child. So she's reminding him also. So, and then she is saying that you have achieved perfection and are the master of the infallible mystic powers because you are under the protection of Yoga Maya, the transcendental nature. So she's telling him that your activities are not under the modes of material nature. We, ordinary living entities, our activities, goodness, passion, ignorance, right? But what happens to those pure transcendentalists on the transcendental platform? Their consciousness is Krishna conscious, right? So then their activities are under Yoga Maya, the spiritual energy of Krishna. He's under her protection. That's what she's telling him here. Devahoti expressed her happiness by uttering the word Bhatta, for she knew her husband was in a highly elevated transcendental position and was under the shelter of Yoga Maya. As stated in Bhagavad Gita, those who are great souls, Mahatmas, are not under the control of the material energy. Yeah, Krishna says that the great souls are not in this modes of material nature, but they're directly under the control of Yoga Maya, his internal potency. These are the great souls, the liberated souls. Huh?
What is Bhatta? Uttering the word Bhatta.
Let's see. By uttering the word Bhatta, okay, let's see, Bhatta, indeed. Indeed, it's mentioned here. Bhatta,
he is indeed the master.
So she knew, indeed, she said, oh, indeed, I understand that you are you're liberated soul. You're already on the platform of liberation. Mahatma, transcendental position. And you are not influenced by this ordinary goodness, passion, and ignorance. You are not influenced by that.
You're above that.
Okay. You're above that. Yeah. And the state of pure goodness. Pure goodness. That's why the shelter of Yoga Maya. So the liberated souls, those great, great liberated personalities, they are under Yoga Maya. They are not under this material, like Narad Muni, for example. He's not under the jurisdiction of Mahamaya. He's under Yoga Maya potency. Pure devotee, they are liberated souls. They just are here for our benefit, to tell us, to teach us how to engage in devotional service, and so that we can also become liberated and go back home.
So Yoga Maya is an internal potency.
Yeah, internal potency of the Lord.
And Mahamaya is the external.
External potency. And we, who are we?
External, yeah.
External is Mahamaya. Yeah. And who are we? The living entities?
Marginal.
That's right. Yeah. Oh yeah, Prabhupada is speaking now here about it. So the Supreme Lord has two energies, material and spiritual. The living entities are marginal energy. So what does marginal mean? As marginal energy, a person may be, I'm sorry, under the control of the material energy or the spiritual energy, Yoga Maya. Sorry about that.
Yeah, in between.
In between. The choice is ours.
Yeah.
What do we want? That's our choice. Sometimes we are choosing material, sometimes we are choosing spiritual. So, as the ocean shore, have you seen the ocean shore? Sometimes it's underwater, sometimes it's not underwater. So we are like that, tata. That's why we are called tatastha shakti, tata, the margin. So Kardama Muni was a great soul, and therefore he was under the spiritual energy, which means that he was directly connected with the Supreme Lord. He's directly connected with Krishna. The symptom of this is Krishna consciousness, constant engagement in devotional service. So this is a very high platform, very, very, very exalted platform. Although it is the original platform of all of us. It is an original platform of each and every living entity. But right now we are like, no, I want to still be in this body. I want to enjoy this material world. I'm having a good time here. So this was known to Devahuti, yet she was anxious to have a son by bodily union with the sage. She reminded her husband of his promise to her parents. I will remain only until the time of Devahuti's pregnancy. She reminded him that for a chaste woman to have a child by a great personality is most glorious. She wanted to be pregnant and she prayed for that. The word Stri means expansion. By bodily union of the husband and wife, their qualities are expanded. Children born of good parents are expansions of the parents' personal qualifications. It's true, right? That's why we tell the children, hey, you're exactly like your mom, or you're doing these things like your dad. The qualities get passed on. So Stri means expansion. She expands everything for the husband. The husband will be by himself doing his own work. The wife comes in, he says, okay, now I need a bigger house. Now I have children. Now I need this, I need that. Everything expands, becomes more. So both Kardama Muni and Devahuti were spiritually enlightened. Therefore, she desired from the beginning that first she be pregnant and then she be empowered with the achievement of God's grace and love of God. So she's saying, first, give me a child. First, give me a child, and then I want love of God. For a woman, it is a great ambition to have a son of the same quality as a highly qualified husband, because she's so attached. The wife is so attached to the husband. Her heart is with the husband. She wants to have a son, same like the husband, a highly qualified son as the highly qualified husband. Since she had the opportunity to have Kardama Muni as her husband, she also desired to have a child by bodily union. So we'll stop here.
The child is the incarnation of the Lord.
Yeah, Kapila Dev is going to come.
Yeah.
Yeah, Kapila Dev is going to come and he's going to give us these teachings, Kapila Shiksha. So we can see how the pastimes are all arranged,
Yeah.
How they're all arranged by the Lord. So nicely. If Devahuti would have said, okay, give me love of God right now, then she would not want a child. And then Kapila Dev wouldn't come. And then we wouldn't have the Kapila Shiksha for us to hear and understand. So how everything is perfectly orchestrated by the Lord.
And that also means that by reading this, it is proof that even whatever is happening in our life is also it's perfect. It's perfectly done. So we don't have to worry.
Yeah.
Because we might get bewildered when we face the situations in life, but then we have to have trust that as you see a beautiful knitting work, there was a story Gopal Darshan Prabhu always say, Gopal Gauranga Prabhu always say that a child was sitting and a mother was knitting a beautiful piece. And when the child came in, he said, oh, what is this? It looks so dirty from behind. I mean, what are you doing? This is so bad. All threads are coming out. And what is this? But then when mother picked up the child and make her sit in her lap, and when he saw the beautiful flowers and the design. So that is the same thing with us, that God has a perfect picture of our life. It's a perfect picture. No matter to us, it might look imperfect, not beautiful, something wrong, why I'm suffering, but that's the perfect thing in our life, how it is supposed to be. So we should embrace and thank him for whatever we are getting. It might be difficulties, but that's for our good, as you always say. That's to make us a better person and to teach us the lessons that we have to learn as an individual. So I think yes. I mean, but still we lament and we hanker. Oh, ऐसे मैं कर लेती तो शायद ऐसा हो जाता. ऐसे, it's normal, right, Shilpa ji?
Yeah. Yeah, of course. We are always hankering and lamenting. The mind always throws us in the past and throws us in the future, you know?
Yeah.
Oh, I should have done this. Why did I do this? Why didn't I do this? And then in the future, we will say, oh, you know, if the situation will be like this, then I'll be happy. If the situation will be like this, I'll be happy. Then we forget our present. We forget to be in the present and thank Krishna, my dear Krishna, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's true. It's true, each of us, because we are conditioned. We're conditioned here, you know, by the modes of nature, conditioned to the body. And but the more we hear and chant.
I'll tell you a practical example that happens every day. Like when we deal with our relationships, and then at that moment, we just respond what we think. But then we look back and then we try to analyze, oh, shayad main aisa bolti to shayad aisa nahi hota ya aise. But then there is no use, because that is what it was supposed to happen. So better keep quiet and listen more, or like this is what you can't just go back and keep on thinking कि नहीं शायद मुझे ऐसे नहीं बोलना चाहिए था, शायद ये सही था, अरे उसने मुझे. So but then slowly and gradually we are learning to keep quiet and listen. Like it is not that we don't express our point of view, but we should express our point of view when it is required.
Oh, yes.
Not uselessly,
Yeah.
we are putting our point of view on others.
Yes. Yeah.
Until it is not asked or it is not required, why do we have to give it? I have learned this. Like I never used to, like I used to call people and tell, oh, this you did, but then there is no use. Why?
Yeah.
That's it. Like, you know, Dada J.P. Vaswani would say that, see, you're given 2 ears and you're given one tongue, one mouth, one tongue. So what does it mean? That you should listen
More, yes.
Not just talk, you know, give your, you know, all the time you're saying, and once you say it out, something which is not supposed, we say, can you take it back? No. So, you know, that's what. So talk less.
Yeah, yeah, it's true.
So that means that our body is also made in a very, very proper structural way.
Yeah.
We have 2 ears so that we listen more. That's why we have 2 ears.
Yes.
And why we have one mouth? So like Krishna has arranged it properly, but we don't know how to use it.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, it's true. And it's like, yeah, we should not give our opinion till it's asked for. Yeah, because when people give us free opinion, we are like, oh, what's wrong with you? You know, you go mind your own business.
Yeah.
Why are you telling me what to do? So same, people are like,
yeah.
you know, like if somebody's going to tell me, I'll be like, what's your problem?
Yeah.
Until and unless I look at them as an authority. Until and unless I look at them as an authority, until and unless I value what they are going to tell me, I will not receive it.
Yeah.
You know, and we are not going to value everyone's. We don't.
Right.
We don't. So yes, it's a good realization. Very good. So we'll stop here for today.
Yes.
Thank you so much. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Gaur Premanande, Hari Bol, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.